I say, whoa, now there's your minds and I'm Foul Sharp, aka the Toothless Wonder, reporting on the Bamboozle Again News Network with a public service announcement. With all meekness and humility, never forget you better than them. And that's why you get attacked. That's why doors of opportunity seem to get closed, or it don't make no intellectual sense in your mind. If you anything like me, you've been repeatedly hated on by those who have more materially, or more gratiated in society, so on and so forth. But I was just sitting here by the water, right, thinking, right, just over, because actually today, well, tomorrow rather, I went into treatment today 4 years ago. But drunk a few beers, try to get my mind right before I actually went in there. So my sobriety date is actually 3/10/21. So tomorrow will be the first, we'll commemorate me of 4 years of uninterrupted sobriety from all mood altering substances, yo. And I was just thinking about the journey, cuz the hard fought battles and whatnot. And especially after I got out of rehab and so on and so forth, you know how I ended up spiritually having to cut people off who I started out in the journey with, or who I had love for, who I did the most for. And then what ended up happening, it has to be a spiritual thing. And I know the adversary, because now we understand that this whole game is spiritual. So it don't make no intellectual sense. If I'm your only means of support, why would you try to hinder me? Because if you hinder me, I can't help you. But they not thinking like that. They spirit not moving them like that. They rather see you in the same position as them. Deep down, like I'm a humble guy, no diggity, no doubt. I try to stay humble so I don't have to get humble. You understand me? And I've gone through the proverbial humiliation ritual probably a couple times by my own decision making. You know what I'm saying? But they admire your strength, but they'll never tell you. They admire, your emotional intelligence. But that's too much like right to like if I seen someone who I admired, I ain't gonna try to throw darts and so on and so forth. I'm gonna try to study in their dojo, like, how you do that? And typically, the way humans are set up, any accomplishments, most humans enjoy talking about their accomplishments or what they've learned or something they're passionate about. But I noticed, with various people that I've had to cut off and seeing me grow and elevate and then hit certain outward goals, materially, financially, so on and so forth, nobody ever asked me how I did it. Nobody ever asked me for suggestions or insight into how they play a particular situation. They would, and in the rare times they would never take it. They would just emotion dump on me. You know what I'm saying? Then I noticed after I get off the phone with them, I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? Now it's different from like the brother I talked about who ended up he had no job, just every day he kept banging and wound up with two of them jumps. And I was able, because of my journey, to help facilitate that. Not that I take credit for it, he the one put in the work. You see what I'm saying? But it's crazy because when the brother walked through the door, um, I felt something. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of sparked me up. You know what I mean? You, the viewer, if you check out my content, we probably have similar experiences or, things of that nature, right? But I can't never remember no time I done hated on somebody because they hit a goal. I hit a regular goal everybody else do. You get them. Or here's one. Oh, you think you better than us. No, I don't think that. You actually think that, and you're projecting that on me. I ain't no better than nobody else, right? In the grand scheme of things. But this journey has made me a better human being, and everybody can't say that. Just like people, my claim to fame is more so, addiction world, so on and so forth, right? But there are a lot of commonality between that and the church and the social grouping aspect of it. We know people that go to church for 20 years and exhibit no fruits of the spirit. They just go to church. Or people who stop using drugs, but they don't become a better human being. They just change out drugs. So now I don't use drugs, but now I'm greedy. Or I don't use drugs now, but now I'm egotistical and attempt to heap people into myself. I noticed that in a lot of social grouping. But again, you can probably forge your own path. You can walk the narrow path, the isolated road, right? And they can't do that. Nor do I think they want to do that. because their whole world and existence is consumed with the world, the social acceptance, the being ingratiated to others and others giving them value. In my particular respect, that ain't the case. My value comes from what the Most High has taught me and what I've learned along the journey. So all my self-value is all internal. Everyone else's, for the most part, is superficial, material, and worldly. You know what I'm saying? That's why if you notice, say, like now, it probably would have been the case to some degree before, but let's say now I lose a job, right? I just go find another way to make money or whatever the case may be. But it's not like, I circled the wagons and now my head hung low because a job done laid me off or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? I'll just adjust. I stay in a constant state of uncertainty and uncomfortability. See how comfortable I look now? That's been the case. It's the new normal. Most people can't function, especially here in Babylon, with any level of uncertainty, uncomfortability, or personal accountability. And because it's given, like, the word talks about, being bold, right? I was thinking about, like, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I routinely antagonize the wicked. I tell them all about themselves for my own entertainment purposes. One, because I don't see nobody else doing it. Two, I want to make a public proclamation. I ain't nothing like you, so everybody know where I'm at with it all by my lonely. You ever seen that meme sometimes be on social media where it's like little stick people or something? And there's one dude facing this great big crowd and he tell them they all wrong. Not for ego purposes, because I feel like if I don't do that, you attempt to like make me like you. So here's how the society spiritually is inverted, right? They know you're intelligent because they seen you, and your intelligence comes from the Most High. Your wisdom comes from the Most High. But they can't perceive things of the spirit. So they know this, but then they'll attempt to change what you believe reality to be. That's why I hurry up and cut stupid conversations off, because they'll try to change the reality you know it to be by seed planting, as I like to call it, and insinuating a ulterior version of events. You know what I'm saying? Like I went through that at mediation. They started talking about stuff that I know didn't exist. They would just say, yes, it did. And I'm like, there's no way. But they're trying, so you got to cut it off, because then you think in self-reflection, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, did it happen? Like, no. They'll try to change the truth. And typically they don't want to deal with the truth. It is the truth that sets you free. And it's also the truth that'll get you unalive. But if that case so bad, at least I went out a G. You know, back during the rhetoric, them times of give me liberty or give me death, like, during the colonial time, like, I'd rather be dead than subservient or a pawn in your schemes that don't benefit me none. And that's what I'm saying. Especially through the lens of social media. Creating your own opportunities, so on and so forth. Like, people are just, click hopping and ingratiate themselves to various social groups. Like 50 Cent is the master of that. He knows from wherever he sits at in the society, even though he has a track record of making people around him look bad whenever he feel like it, or antagonizing situations. Because he's 50 Cent, people will just want to be close to him, knowing he fit. That's like in my small town, right? There are a plethora of dudes who are known snitches, right? But because they still have money or gear or whatever, or appearance thereof, people will still deal with them. Like, they ain't gonna tell on you when it benefit them. You know what I'm saying? So you stand out the way. You operate with some semblance of intelligence. You having been internally fortified in a society that through numerous aspects and means is attempting to weaken you physically through the food, mentally through mass media, spiritually through, fear-based society, so on and so forth. And you yourself do whatever you got to do to maintain you. Like I said, I've known people from just 2 years ago. And of course, if you get older, like, eventually you'll start looking older. But that ain't what I'm talking about. I am talking about almost a metamorphosis of facial features to the point where, who is this person? and they're not on drugs or nothing. But because of, and they've all asked me for insight, but they didn't take it. And now I'm seeing the regression of, I can see the light going out in these people's eyes. I can see their facial features changing. I can feel their auras becoming darker. Case in point, right? I had a partner that I knew from the DMV area. I met him over here, but he's actually from the town I live in now. And I didn't see him on social media, so normally you figure somebody locked up, right? I ran into him at the local grocery store, right? So I see him like, oh, what's up, cuz? Whoop, whoop, whoop. He told me just got out of jail, da da da. And okay, I feel, because he engaged in certain illegal activities, right? But I felt a darkness on the man. Maybe a few months later, come to discover, he ended up allegedly unaliving his girlfriend, and we all have mutual friends. He's set to go to court for that. Watch out there now. Yo, it's so crazy how, that's why I'd stay out the dating game. Because if you look at it, anything with a game on it is set up for you to fail. You know what I'm saying? So I don't play the dating game. I don't deal with the drug game. You know what I'm saying? Most games they got set up for Negroes ain't set up for you to win. You just play it to the best of your ability, and then you end up losing in the end. You know what I'm saying? But even in reference to, and I don't know what's going on, as brother become more self-aware and enlightened, it is totally unwise to play the dating game, because whatever's going on spiritually has imposed itself on people to where now a lot of people, but I'm talking like women, just the average woman you meet, let's be honest, it's stupid. She has a worldly rhetoric that upon further inspection, that don't even benefit you none. They just taught you how to take on stupid ideas and be proud of it. Like, let's say, you whoremonger to some degree, or you finesse man, or whatever, whatever, whatever. You know what I mean? And it might work in your 20s. You start feeling it in your 30s when Negroes ain't checking for you the same way. And by the time you get 40, then you like the Dr. Giselle woman. And then, one, where's her doctor's office? Two, how are you a dating coach with no mate? And how does any of this help the black community in totality? It just creates more separatism. That's why I be thinking these people get pushed, or they just pick these people, and then because prior to whatever, where did she come from? Did she actually have a practice somewhere? Like the Yada Awakening mind, where did he come from? You see what I'm saying? Or it's like the Matron candidate, where they just create a backstory for these people, but then when you check the backstory, like they weren't there. You know what I'm saying? How Shakespeare said, the world is but a stage. And I'm just looking at it play out from the audience. But I'm not ingratiated to whatever may happen in the actual play, because I've removed myself from the production, if that make any sense. You know what I'm talking about? But this is just a reminder, yo, you better than them. And that's why they hate you. It's amazing how, check it, right? We can watch a story about something inspirational, excuse me, a rags to riches type story, see it on TV or a movie, and become inspired by it. But the dude that you know in your neighborhood and your family do something similar, and then typically what happens is they try to curtail you to some degree, or they try to shame you. Yo, remember 10 years ago when I gave you a sandwich when you was homeless? Yeah, I do remember that. Okay, give me $10,000. And then if you explain to her how just erroneous that statement was, here's come the emotion, and they'll get mad with you. They feel, a lot of times people feel entitled to take credit for the work you put in by your lonely. I'm not used to that. Now, the support I do have, I'm thankful, attempt to be a good steward of it. But there hasn't been a whole lot of support. One, if there was, then somebody could always try to, interject themselves and try to guilt shame me into doing something that benefit them. You know what I'm saying? Or what'll happen is they'll take credit. Well, if you didn't know me, this wouldn't have happened. The way the Most High set my life up, between him and my mama and my aunt, them the only people to get credit. Of course, the Most High first. But I should have been dead had them folk not kept my name back in the day. We got them old school family members. Keep your name on the prayer list. He's so gifted, but he's just so tormented. His heart in the right. I know he get drunk and fall down and all that. You know what I'm saying? But before he got drunk and fell down, he just cut the old woman grass and didn't charge her, just off the love. I'm doing wrong, but let me do something right, or let me help balance the scales. You know what I'm saying? I'm the king of that. Thinking back on it, even in the grips of my alcoholism, people who had careers and homes and whatever would ask my suggestions and advice on a plethora of things, relationship-wise, because they felt and knew I wasn't going to steer them the wrong way. I never forget one time, me and my partner was chopping it up. There was a few of us out there saying something about something. And I said, nah, I can't do that. I got bad conscience. He said, you don't need no conscience. And that always stuck with me. You got to be with people like, you got to be on, you got to practice active listening skill. And I don't think it's so much that. I think the Most High has given me a spiritual alarm system. Because, you know, people talking and da-da-da. And the conversation kept rolling. There wasn't any hesitation or pause in it, right? But that always stuck out to me. Or I remember one time, now I said it as a joke. I was talking to an older cat. I said, man, I might have to go rehab, yo. He said, you don't need no rehab. Now, if a brother come to me and he questioning bettering himself, I'm like, shoot, cuz, you feel like that's what you need to do? You know what I mean? Word up. I've never heard a brother say something about a dream, goal he had, and interjected negativity into it. You know what I'm saying? Again, I kind of go back to the plantation construct. For whatever mental construct they have no desire to get free, other than talking about it, but they ain't gonna put no effort or work into obtain thereof or such, right? But if you start moving in a way, you only have to say, if you start moving in a way that exhibits or exudes freedom in your spirit and your soul, they'll be hell-bent on keeping you there with them. If we managing them and I get free, I can help get you free. They rather stay on the plantation than you help them get free. Because I guess on the flip side of it, if the shoe were in reverse and they help you get free, they will always remind you of that. I'm not the type of individual who keep track of, like, helping people. I just do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like I'm keeping a tally. These people are keeping a tally. That's why I really don't be wanting no help, because the help come with strings attached. Or, you know, I've been in relationships where, you know, I'm down, or whatever the case may be, and the shawty do something. And then I, you know, say, no, we're not going to do this, or whatever. And then the first thing they do is remind you of all the stuff they did for you. It wasn't from the heart. They did it as a leverage tool. No, we should do what I want to do because I did this for you. Don't you forget that. So that let me know it wasn't from the heart. So now, even with seemingly, as they say, the adversary presenting himself like an angel of light, even though seemingly somebody's offering help, support, you got to be leery of that. And I've been saying that on here, because typically it comes with strings attached. Just like any deal you make with the adversary, it might benefit you initially, but at the end of it, you'll be worse off. And I've never known a situation like my man Facing Gates say, where where the devil got screwed on a deal he made with man. Like a highlight. And my Spanish untangling, right? So, okay, I got a partner, right? You know what I'm saying? And I used to warn him about, you know, dealing with certain Negroes, right? Or just people in general, based on, you know, like the locks, living off experience, right? So he ingratiates to certain, you know, grouping of people. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Teach his own, whatever. But watch out for this, watch out for that, right? Yeah, you right, da-da-da. But then, okay, so he plays for this rehab T-ball league, right? So they got this, and it's mostly white folk, right? So they got this thing where I don't know how you strike out an adult T-ball, but that's neither here nor there. So they got this thing, if you strike out in a humiliation ritual style, it kind of reminds me of when them white folk had Meek Mill bunny hopping, but he hang with billionaires and whatever. So he got put on a tutu. So when he posted this picture, I said, oh no, cuz. Then I inboxed him. I said, yo, you let them white folk get you. I said, yo, you remind me of Meek Mill, yo. Truthful statement. But I'm saying that as a joke, right? And this particular team calls themselves the Sugar Gliders. And I seen a video in which he alludes to this proudly, right? But I say, cuz, if you play for the Negro League T-Ball Rehab Association, and that was a rule for Negroes, you'd have cussed Negroes out. Here's the bully coon spur. You'd have cussed Negroes out, you'd have flipped the bat, you'd have, as they say now, you've been ready to squabble, right? But when you play for the white team and put it on, you say it proudly and feel good about it, like white folk gonna say you. And then when you're, especially in the white folk system, that's what he started using this different borderline homosexual terminology and so on and so. I'm like, yo, when you start talking like that, bro. But in Rome, you do as the Romans. You know what I'm saying? And I just highlight the source. I don't have no opinion on it. I just know I'm not putting on no tutu. Or I'm not ingratiating myself into nothing. Where if I do something, I get humiliated. And I stand there proudly. But, and that leads to the Hebrew Israelite brothers I was talking about yesterday. They tough and have no forgiveness and grace for other Negroes. But they don't mind letting white folk humiliate them. Hypermasculine tore your own, but broke it to the system. No different than, it's the same principle the dude on Life with the Shotgun. What was his name? Shotgun Bob. Boss give him a shotgun knowing, because he got the psychological edge on, ain't no way on earth he gonna shoot me. But for me, he will shoot these Negroes for an extra pair of britches. You know what I'm talking about? I.e., here it is, when Martin and Eddie's character hadn't talked for years, right? And I forget Martin's character did something. And the boss got the gun from the Tippy Tom and black dude, handed it to Eddie, shucks. Yeah, Eddie's character. And said, if you shoot him right now, I will walk you out of here myself. And like a real Negro. He said, boss, you don't want to do that. Because if you give me that gun, I'm liable to shoot you with it. Even though I ain't talked to that man in years. I already know who the enemy is. This situation has antagonized, or this environment, this plantation construct has antagonized our discord. But you still the enemy. That's basically what he was telling. Wrong answer, boy. Then he found himself being punished along with his mans and them that he hadn't spoke to, and they got him back talking. You know what I'm saying? We fight, man. I despise these Negroes. We fight for white acceptance. I don't care nothing about no acceptance. As long as the Most High accept me, I don't care what I go through. And here's another one. People be trying now granted, I'm a firm believer. If I'm doing something I ain't got no business doing, my internal alarm system will go off. But so like people say, oh, be humble. I am humble. But you don't tell me what to do. After I just seen what you did, you're not qualified to tell me what to do. And if the Most High gonna tell me something through another party, I truly believe he'll use anybody, but he ain't finna use you, because your credibility shot with me. And granted, at the same, ain't nobody perfect. But when I make a mistake, and I've done it on here, I made the mistake, here's what I learned. Because if you don't learn anything from the mistake, you're probably prone to repeat it. You understand me? Nowadays, what you see is people continually, and I've done it, continually make the same mistake and blame somebody else for it. Like in the dating world. I know like women of both, white and black, who routinely choose bad dudes or dudes, whatever, that they might feel they can control, or however they program them to choose men, right? Not me, but I'll provide a better option. And they were like, nah, I don't want that. And then, and now it be ending real quick. It don't like people be together for 2 years, then they break up. It be 2 weeks, then you don't see them in no more pressure. And I'm like, yo, where your people's at, yo? Not to say I told you in a preeminent style, but yo, I know what I'm talking about. Not just because I be talking about it, but you seen the examples of what I've been talking about. When have you seen me get bamboozled? That's another aspect of intelligence, foresight. Like my man, Thinking Man's Templar say, if you go down this spiritual path for some period of time, right, you should instinctually be able to feel the events around you churning. Such as when I left the job twice. My spirit told me leave. That wasn't my brain or my intellect. And now it has been revealed to me after a period of time why I left. Because had I not left and stayed for finance, I would be a shell because I would have had to put my principles and what I believe on the chopping block. Now I'm prone to compromise. And then once you compromise once, now there's a chink in the armor. Now we'll just keep going with this. Just like, if you're in jail or something, however they say that. You let one thing slide, you'll be hard pressed to get, people up off of you because they found the end. And now they're just going to exploit it. Well, you did that, you ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to go extremely above the call of duty just to put it back on even keel. You know what I'm saying? But you are better than them. And now forget that. You should take, I don't want to say pride. You should be proud that you're nothing like the people in the world. Of what benefit? Oh, I'm the rapping dude. Now, since we're in exposure season, now it come out that I was attached to this dude who's a sodomite. And now everybody wondered, did he get me? You know what I'm saying? Or I do all this work independently for them to give me a record deal and then to assume all power over the stuff I built. And then I end up on them. It's not like they gave it to me. I got to pay that back. But then they can hold me and tell me when I can release, when I can and can't, what my album look like, what I talk about. So I did all this work to give you all the power. And people take the deal every day, B. Word up. Not the kid. I don't care what happened. And this just ain't empty talking. I don't. I've already seen hell twice here. What can you possibly do that I can't handle? You know what I'm saying? I was listening to my man SRBG yesterday say, you get to a certain level, in the progression of gang stalking, you don't care who come or who go. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, you can see people coming. You can already tell what program they operating under. Christianity program, gang program, hustle program, Jezebel in the urban community program. You see what I'm saying? Sorry for myself program. Everybody is meant to fit in a program. And once you escape all those programs mentally and spiritually, by default, you're left with the program of the Most High whenever He institute that on your life based on wherever you at as an individual when you come out of that. That's why I was wondering. I said, earlier on my journey, I said, now one of the realest, and I say this in all human, I'm one of the realest Negroes ever met. They seen me do stuff like they ain't never seen on earth. But now that I'm in this position, how come my phone don't ring? You mean tell me I don't cross nobody's mind like Brian McKnight, yo? It was a blessing. I just couldn't intellectually understand it. Because had I maintained attachment to them, I'd have maintained a certain attachment to the world, or at the very least, the bad company would have corrupted my good manners, And that was another reason I left the job. Cause I felt like it was starting to, because I don't be around people. So I'm like the older person in the family. Like, I be asking questions about, or they'll come volunteer, and we'll talk about it. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But I'm blown, like I've heard about stuff through social media, but it's totally different when I've seen it up close and personal. Like, we might hear about gang violence or whatever in Chicago, but it's different if you actually live in Chicago and see it up close, firsthand, and personal. You know what I'm saying? I was blown away. I said, God darn, it's real on the battlefield. Woo! Which lets me know once I escape, you ain't got to worry about me going back on plantation. I'd rather live in the woods and go through that. Because at least I feel free. At least I feel like a man. They said the greatest glory of a man is to die free. You know what I'm saying? On your own accord. Of course, you know what I'm saying? We don't even want freedom no more. And the responsibility that comes with that. I'm trying to figure out how I can get some land. Because I'm used to working, in an agriculture during my formative years. That's all day work, yeah. Then you eat, then you might take a nap, then you go back, had to read books, got to go to church, got to serve the community, you got to visit the sick and shut in. Yeah. Ain't no days off when you live in the country. Other than the Sabbath, I don't think we wasn't really adhering to it like that. I don't think we would cook on like Friday nights and stuff like that. Yeah, fend for yourself. Yeah. But there's always work to be done. If you live in a rural or on a farm, It ain't nothing. It's never nothing not to do. Who else gonna do it unless you hire some people? But taking pride, the words talks about, taking pride with the fruit of your hands and the fruit of your labor. You know what I'm talking about? Now we labor for these people and it's barely enough to pay your bill. So now you can barely you work for these people, let's say 40 hours a week. You can barely pay to keep a roof over your head. You can barely feed yourself, but you with these people 40 hours out of the week. But if I go in the wood, chop down a bunch of wood, you know what I'm saying, build me a shop, I ain't gotta have no job. And I build me a farm because your two most is food and shelter. If I'm able to provide that for myself, what I need you for? I do it if I feel conducive to it or it's conducive to me. You know what I mean? I don't care nothing about that. And that's how they lock you into the system. Paying bills every 30 days and all that shit. As far as that go, it'll happen in his time. So I ain't gonna keep pressing the issue. I'll still take in information, put the files away and, whatever. But I was gonna get free one way or the other, come hell or high water. What else is that? To go through, the matrix per se, and to die free. You know what I'm saying? And until that time, I'ma still call out wickedness. I'ma still admit my faults and wrongs and what I've learned. You know what I'm saying? I'ma keep. This is the reverse of David taunting Goliath. Yeah, and everything I've said has come to be true after a period of time. Now they mad at you that you was right. You was right about the people who they was running with. You know what I'm saying? So birds of a feather flock together. So I'm saying, you must be like them too, ain't you, cuz? That's all God understand, baby. You know what I'm saying? The world got you, baby. You still my brother, though. From over there, though. Because they will try to set you up. Negroes famous for that. Negroes famous for throwing each other under the bus for the man. You know what I'm saying? That's what all these gang folk telling. One, they ain't trying to go to jail. Because they ain't, you know what I'm saying? There's no worldly whatever in jail. And two, Negroes really hate each other. So they don't mind throwing you to the wolves to get back out there and live a worldly way. They don't care nothing about no reputation and all. There's no more absolutes. Right and wrong is now based on who does it and how you feel about it. Back to my talking point about having sympathy for the victimizers. You know what I'm saying? Folk done stole my money and they giving them a pass. But these supposedly, high esteem recovering addicts. But they're thieves. You know what I'm saying? I mean? And then when it come down the pike, you won't hear from. That's happened to me quite a few times. Where I've been to these Emmy Jimmy rehab shelters, and they doing whatever against the law or fudging, cooking the books and all that, and then they just don't come to. I've seen it. What's going on now? I've been seeing almost over a decade ago. That's why I can call it, and I don't need no letters behind my name. I don't need to go no school institution how I learn. You know what's so crazy? I know people who are in the mental health therapy field who ask me for insight about how to live their life. That makes no sense to me. I'm a therapist. Now, of course, you seek wise counsel when you need to, right? But I'm a therapist. But I can't take none of the advice I give to others and apply it. I should be the beacon of mental health if I'm a mental health professional. But most mental health professionals, they themselves on mental health medication. Out of here, B. Again, that's like me being a mechanic, but I'm always having car trouble. I can't fix my own car, but I'm a mechanic. I'm a health and wellness guru, but I'm always sick. But I charge you to give you advice about your health. But when you see me, I'm overweight, hunched over, and coughing. Why they do that at, young? And then we don't want these people help. They mad with you. How's he doing it? How? What you mean how? Because I educated myself. Shout out to Frederick Douglass, who from my hometown. He'd be proud of me. Seeing the game for what it is, strapping your bootstraps up, giving reverence to the Most High, and going to war every day. And it'll probably be like that, I don't know, maybe until the second gathering. It's kind of hard to see how things go beyond that, at least for me anyway. But we in spiritual warfare every day, B. Every day, B. And it's the warfare that turned me into a warrior. Like I talk about, the tough brother or the fake tough brother, the bully coon Negro, but they don't never speak no truth to power. Huh? They just get tough with other oppressed people. That's like picking on the weak. That's like, again, the David principle. You know what I'm saying? He a little shepherd boy. The armor don't fit, and that's not the third. But because of what his relationship with the Most High, by himself in isolation doing menial tasks, he got upset when he seen this proverbial giant. Nah, let me at him, cuz. You can't even hold a sword. I don't need no sword. What's around? Oh, rocks. This'll work. I had one time. It's crazy how people say stuff and it can't be true. I was at the bar one night just by myself, kicking it with the old school players. So we vibing on the set, right? And out of nowhere, the brother says this, and it tripped me out when he said it because it's kind of true. He said, referring to me, he said, "You're the type of dude to go into the military, get trained, go AWOL, and then fight the same people that trained you." I had another partner tell me, and I don't know, like, as far as I knew, I didn't exhibit any kind of, I don't know, mannerisms of violence, or I would allude to anything concerning that. But I'm like, yeah, if I find out they doing some stuff I don't agree with, not that I don't agree with, that violates my personal code of ethics and whatever, I probably would, yeah. And then I had another partner at another time, older cat, you know what I'm saying? And he said, "Cal, you the type of dude to go to a shootout with no gun." And that's another thing, I know, because I've been around privy to certain type of individuals, right? You know, the drug movers, the gun toters, right? Now I'm just me. I've never been one of them because it's hard for monkey sell bananas. And I don't really want to shoot nobody. I'd rather just, we fired or whatever the case may be. I came out in that era where people were still fighting, right? And when I had various situations or whatever, none of my homeboys who have actually shot people before, right, and been shot at, so on and so forth, right, I might ask for a firearm for whatever reason, and they would never give me one, yo. Never. Now, granted, that's probably, divine protection through the rejection, but I always noticed that. That's like I got a homeboy who boxes, but I'm just a homeboy. Like, I work at the chicken house. He boxed for a living. But I said, I want to box too. Like, nah, he won't even give me no glove. Like, then we can kick it. We kick it anyway. Yo, teach me something, cuz. You know what I'm saying? No, not you. I'm like, huh? Why people? Like, to some degree, they're actually, not only are you better than them, be totally honest with you, because of what they've done and it hasn't worked by the grace of the Most High. Here's another thing they won't tell you. They're afraid of you. They'll never admit it. So they'll go overly masculine, but they don't want no parts of you on the battlefield. Because one, you don't care, well, if you ain't anything like me, you don't care nothing about losing. I'm just come back and get a W. You know what I'm saying? If that be the case. You'll get tired of beating me up before I get tired of losing. Man, I mess around, quit my job. I've done that before. Not quit my job, but I actually went to work to tell them I wasn't working because I had an issue with a Negro I had to get over with that day. Because I'm tired of it lingering. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of hearing the foolishness or the schemes and this, that. Man, we getting this over with today. So I'm going to take off and lose money and don't care nothing about that to go tend to you. Because after I'm done, this is over with. So I can go back to chilling. I likes to get my chill on. I likes to be easy with myself, Wardy. You know what I mean? But they always keeping something going. But now what's going on reverse, and I'm seeing it through the lens of social media, they don't want you to tell the truth. Because they got an ego and image to maintain that you done seen right through for eons. I've had people do that where we just chilling, or I might know them for a period of time, and then we fall out. And then, like, through words, I reveal to them stuff they did they ain't think I was paying attention to, or just whatever, their behavior or character. I had a co-worker tell me one time, again, I think I got like an auditory type memory. For whatever reason, I just be remembering stuff I've heard or something I heard somebody say, right? And he said, yo, you got to be leery of the man, referring to me, who remember every single conversation you done had with him since the day you met him. I don't trust, no, it ain't even so much on, it ain't even about me trusting him and all that. Just like, in the concrete jungle of this social predatory environment we find ourselves in, rather. You have to be able to discern. But see, all the animals that you come across don't look like the actual animal that they are. So the actual wolf is actually dressed in sheep's clothing. You know what I mean? Word up. That's what that be. You know what I'm saying? What's dressed up as a lion is actually a gopher. It just put on a lion suit. You know what I mean? That's why I like call people bluff. Instead of playing mental gymnastics, they trying to create this narrative that don't exist in your mind. Oh, I'm this. Okay, let's find out right now. I remember one time I had the issue with the dude who I called up for his behavior because he was we were supposed to be in a safe environment. He wasn't a part of this particular program. Somehow finagled the sweet people who worked there. He moved in and used it and tried to turn the situation or building into the corridor where he was selling drugs and just manipulating people and using his drugs for power and this, that, and the third, right? So I called him out on it in confidence, right? I'm telling him person to person, right? He flare up, so I'm like, F it down, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was helping the man, you know what I'm saying? Then he say, oh man, Cal, you hating on me. I say, cuz, how I'm hating on you and I don't want to do nothing I seen you do. But he go, well, but all right. Man, cuz, I'm over here, bro. Man, come on, man. Stop all that hollering, bro. Come on, man. And you wrong, you know what I'm saying? So then they come back, he was like, what'd he say? Oh, he called me the B word. I said, cuz, how I'm the B word? Now, he didn't know I knew this. But another brother had his CDL, he got a job, so he had bought like a new car. And he had ended up popping the tires because he was hating on the man, right? But he didn't know I knew this. So I said, how I'm the B word, but you out here popping Negroes' tires. When they start doing that? He go way back over there. I said, man, I'm done with it, bro. So woo the whoop, right? So trying to be, gracious and merciful, right? So I go upstairs, I chill out, you know what I'm saying? But I'm hot because he talked to me stupid, right? So then he knock on the door of our apartment. So I let him in. I'm thinking we're going to chop it down like men folk, right? So he, in the apartment house, I'm like, yo, cuz, man, other people live in here, bro. You know what I'm saying? You ain't finna do that. Now, if we got to chop it up or whatever, that's cool, fine and dandy. But you ain't finna come up here with all that there, right? So I'm sitting down. So I have a seat, right? He elects to, stand up, but then I notice he's standing over me, right? So I stand up. Then I don't know what he called himself doing. I don't know if he tried to scoop me or something. But I just kind of grabbed him by the shoulder, brought him back up at the eye level. I'm like, bro, man, chill out, man. What's wrong with you, cuz? So he bopped off, woo woo. Now we have recurrent. Because I think what happened, because he couldn't do me the way he wanted to do me, he was mad with me. Like, people be thinking, you just supposed to let them style on. Like, the entitlement. There's a rampant mental health issue throughout society and here in Babylon. Because Babylon has just breeded mental health disorders at this point. But especially of my demographic, the Negro, everybody delusional. You take, like, let's say I get over financial on somebody, it make me feel good to stick my chest out, right? But if somebody get over on me financially, I'm ready to unalive them. But the finesse two-time principle is cool when they do it, but it's a problem when I do it. That's why it's hard to deal with these Negroes. It's dangerous for your spirit. You know what I'm saying? You can't win with them. You can't. You help them, they act like they got over on you. You don't help them, they feel entitled to you helping them. You might well just leave them alone. And I hurt for their soul, man, seriously. Because I wasn't always like this. I still held some semblance of soul, even though I had certain proclivities and behaviors. But I still had a conscience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was homeless, and I wasn't like, I need to get back selling drugs, or I need to find some woman move in with. I said, I'm had to eat this, because I'm the reason I'm in this. And when I tried to get out of it, even like now with certain things I'm trying to strive to do, I ain't getting out of it until the Most High let me out. But there are lessons to be learned in this. You see what I'm saying? Because if I don't learn the lesson, I'll probably stay in the curriculum longer than I have to. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily fail, right? But I might have to take this particular this particular curriculum or refresher course because I didn't grasp certain aspects of the curriculum when I was supposed to move on to the next curriculum or to graduate. You understand me? Shaboing, boing. Yes, sir. But this is just, not an ego. This is with all meekness and humility. I know the world try to beat us down, or we ain't this, or these people don't like us, or whatever the case may be. You know why? because you're better than them. How big, like not the elite people as far as like Satan and all that, but anybody who's elite in their craft, like Kobe, uh, uh, let's say the Williams sisters in tennis, let's say business wise, like Warren Buffett and them. How many people they got in their personal life? But how many people esteem them for who they are, what they've become, what they've done, and what they've been able to accomplish. Never forget that. And on that note, this is Foul Shot to sign off from the Bamboozle Again News Network. Always remember to cover this 6. Ooh, ah!